Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
Bam! Yes, it is a Wednesday. Hump day. It's the middle of the week, and it's time for The Swimming Pool with yours truly, Travis Bridges. That would be me. And guess what? I am ready, and I'm not going to be long at all tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be shorter than normal. Kind of weird though. You know, it's amazing. I remember when I first started doing this. Man, I would plan and prepare all day and get to, where I would be doing my live stream, and then something would happen that I thought would be in place, and it just would not, be what I thought it was. And then I would just have like this high level of stress. It was amazing when I first started. But now I'm a little more calm and I can go kind of sort of on the fly. I went from playing music to now just talking. And I threatened y'all last week. I said I'm going to come on with my saxophone. And guess what? It's going to happen. Watch. One night, you're going to hear the intro, and then all of a sudden, I'm going to bust out with it. I'm going to be playing some tunes and making it do what it do. Anyway, this is SWIM, S-W-I-M. That is the acronym for Say What You Mean. I'm hoping you are doing just that. It's necessary. Last week, that was the title of my live stream, Say What You Mean. And it's amazing that I had no idea what I would be doing even as early as a few hours ago. But it kind of segued into the last tail end of what I was talking about last week. Talked about saying what you need to say, giving people the opportunity to say their piece or apologize maybe, or you doing what you need to do to step up to say your piece. If you need to say, I'm sorry to someone or explain something to someone, you really probably should go ahead and do that, because it's going to be on you if you don't. It's amazing that we become callous with wrong. I remember one of my preacher friends told me a long time ago. He said, you know what? He called me Scott. He said, Scott, you know what? He said, sometimes people can do the wrong thing for so long that they just think it's right. And I was like, yeah. And of course, that happens. I grew up, in a, I don't want to call it troubled, but not necessarily a perfect environment. It was perfect for me, and I'm grateful for it. But if I had my choice, I would have had quite a few things differently. But no, I won't even go down that path. I'll just leave it alone. So back to my point, forgiveness. That's the topic for today. It's a tough thing. And you know what? If you're like me, what you thought forgiveness was is probably not what it is. And I got a serious revelation. It's amazing. There's this saying that goes like this. When the student is ready, the teacher will show up. When you really want to know something, some way, somehow, you will be led to it in a way that you never thought you would. Now, if you had asked me 10 years, 5 years, even yesterday, what is forgiveness? I would have told me when you just Don't hold a grudge against somebody for doing something bad to you, or something that you just want to be forgiving. You want to forgive someone, not be upset, not be mad at them, not be hateful. And that's true. But here's what I found out. I have 2 clips I'm going to play. I'm going to play one early, and then I'm going to play one when I sign off. And the first one is about 3 minutes and something. It's kind of cool. It's something that I found that made really good sense. And I'm going to comment after I play it. But I found out something about forgiveness that I want to share with you that's very important. And it's amazing. When you seek, you will find. If you knock, the door shall be open. If you ask, it shall be given unto you. All of those things are true about many things. You just have to be willing. And again, when the student is ready, the teacher will indeed show up. With that being said, I'm going to go into the first clip that talks about forgiveness, and I want you to listen carefully to it because I'm going to quiz you. All right? So it's this one. Listen carefully, and you might need to forgive somebody. Someone may need to forgive you, but it may not be what you think. And I'm going to give my revelation, but listen to this, okay? I'll be right back. Hang in there.
What do you think about this? Is forgiveness a weakness? And the people who forgive, are they fools? Well, let's talk about this today. Normally, in this world, the forgiveness is oftenly referred as a weakness. People say, no, you should not forgive people. You should not let go of that anger and resentment. You have to take the revenge, and you should not forgive people. Well, let me ask you, if you did not forgive people, what are you going to do? You're going to hold on to anger, no? You're going to hold on to resentment. You're going to hold on to grudges. And what all those thoughts makes you, they will make you a negative person. They will hurt your mind. They will hurt your spirituality. That is why we have to understand what is the real forgiveness. So, what is the real forgiveness? Normally, people forgive and they let go of the anger and they forget about the things that they have done. And also, in the next place, they fall into the same trap of the people who used to hurt them. So that is not the correct way of forgiving people. The real forgiveness must be there with forgiveness and also wisdom. So when the forgiveness and the wisdom combine together, then you can forgive people truly and correctly. So have to do that. So when you forgive people with wisdom, you're not saying that it is okay, you hurt me and I'm going to fall into the same trap of you, right? I will believe you again and again. That is not the way. You can forgive people. You can let go of the anger. You can forget about the hurt that they have done to you. And also still, you can stay away from their life and their negativity. Okay? That is where you combine the forgiveness and the wisdom, right? Then, if you forgive like that, if you forgive in such a way, then you will never fall into traps of those people who are going to use you. So, understand what real forgiveness is. When you forgive people, you're not forgiving them. Really, in reality, you're forgiving you, right? You're saying that, no, I'm not going to take this negativity anymore. I'm not going to hold on to this anger and resentment anymore because I love myself. I don't want to hurt myself. I always care about my spiritual development, my good qualities, and my thoughts. So when you do that, you can forgive people and stay away from their negativity and their cheatings. So that is the correct way to forgive someone. So practice this and let go of those angry thoughts and resentments in your mind.
That's a good idea. Thank you so much. Now, that's what you call wisdom. That's good stuff right there. And let me tell you what stood out the most to me. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Christine. Hey, Anthony Morrow. And all of my other good friends who's watching. This is a good one. And y'all forgive me. I did my workout and I've got my guns out because the sun was out today. You get it? Guns out, sun's out. Anyway, we're talking about forgiveness. The natural thought of forgiveness is almost like giving someone a pass. You did something, you said something, you created a problem for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a pass. That's not forgiveness. People should and will be held accountable for anything they do, good, bad, or ugly. You sow what you reap. The law of reciprocity is always in motion. Karma is definitely real. And even the Bible says, vengeance is mine, thus saith the Lord. So when we find ourselves holding on to what they did, what they said, how they treated me, that's something that you're doing to yourself because you can't control what someone does. You can control how you respond to it. So forgiveness really is for you. Because guess what? You can't really forgive a person to the degree that karma is going to not go as it's supposed to, or reaping is not going to go as it's supposed to based on what someone or even you sows. So it's really kind of tricky. It's kind of abstract, and you really have to maybe experience it like me, because I'm definitely getting a different revelation right now. And it's amazing when you need it, it shows up real good for you. So, the idea of forgiving, when you're upset about something, it's hard to think of giving someone a pass or letting them think that you are letting them go, that you don't want to put your hand around the small part of their upper shoulders and, do something. It's normal to have that feeling. But the greatest example of forgiveness was Jesus Christ on the cross when they were busting his behind, excuse my language. But he said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Chances are when people are acting out of normal, they don't know what they're doing. They're being controlled by an evil source and don't even know it. Sometimes, the old saints used to say, people are being used by the devil and don't even know they're being used by the devil. We have to have compassion for that kind of energy. Again, that doesn't mean be a doormat. That doesn't mean be a fool. And as the speaker just said, you don't put yourself in position for people to do it to you. Again, we have to use wisdom when it comes to, orchestrating our lives on a daily basis and forgiving. So forgiving is for you. These were my questions prior to getting into this. I kind of got off, off and running. But who is forgiveness for? Why is it necessary? Why is it so hard to do? And it really is one of the hardest things to do. I want to answer that question. Why is it so hard to forgive? This is why I think it is, and this is what I found in my revelation. It's hard to forgive because of the way you see it. If you change the way you look at things, the way you look at things will change. If you think you are giving someone a pass, then that's why it's hard to forgive. But you're not giving anyone a pass. You don't fix people. You don't pay people back. It's not your place. An eye for an eye, maybe in some cases. That's not my focus right now. We have to be grounded, rooted and grounded in our own sanity. It's necessary. But when you hold a grudge someone, you're hurting yourself. Steve Harvey said it, but I'm sure he got it from somewhere else because I heard it long before I even knew who Steve Harvey was. I think it's Lao Tzu or someone like that, one of those who said, maybe it was Buddha who said, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and waiting for someone else to die. So I'm going to play the other clip in a few minutes, but I do want to say this before I go. You can't give someone else a pass. You really can't necessarily forgive someone else. Maybe you can, and maybe you can say you forgive someone and they'll probably feel like, ooh, I'm off the hook. But there's a trick in that. I believe the only being that can truly forgive is the supreme being who controls the law of reciprocity, reaping and sowing, and karma itself. How can I forgive you? I can be lenient. I can have some mercy, maybe. I can even give you a pass. But giving someone a pass, having mercy, or even being lenient is still not the purest definition of what I found forgiveness to be. Forgiveness is not just something. It's a command. You know, if you are a believer and if you believe in righteousness, it's necessary, because you can't be normal if you're not able and or willing to forgive. Ain't nobody said nothing about forgetting, and nobody said anything about protecting yourself against people who really show you who they are. We have to be wise, because you can't really be a real human in your right mind and hate someone or do someone wrong. That is an evil spirit from a very dark place to scheme and plot and create ploys to set a trap for somebody else. That's not normal. That's not humane. So, with that being said, forgiveness is necessary because it's for you. You have to release that. It's not your place to hold a grudge. Come on. I've never heard it put like that before. And I'm glad I'm getting the revelation firsthand for me in a real live, true experience where I am getting a revelation. This is what you call a rhema word. I'm actually getting it. And yes, if you're in your flesh, if you're thinking with your mind and not your spirit and your soul, you can't forgive someone, and you will take it to your grave, and you will be nasty, mean, and ugly. Look ugly. That's how mean people look and how they act. You ever seen somebody mad? Something's going on inside of them that's not normal. And I think, this experience that I recently had has caused me to be a little more reasonable, rational, calm even, and forgiving of others for sure. I'm going to change the word now for the sake of this. Maybe just tolerant, patient, when people are not in their right mind. And you can see it, right away. When someone says something or someone does something, where that's coming from. You can feel it and you know it. What we don't want to do is get ourselves off track and get into that, because as the speaker just said, if we are not careful, we will be acting just like them. And man, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. That's some really heartache, trying to keep up with nasty and evil. Oh my God, it's exhausting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to officially forgive. I'm going to be forgiving. I didn't say I was going to forget. And I don't know about this let bygones be bygones. I ain't saying none of that. But I realize the importance for me and to be in compliance with what I believe is my calling and or my purpose. I can't have that in my soul, that anger, that hate, that bitterness that comes with the evil that happens outside of a sane heart, mind, and soul. So again, I forgive, I am forgiven, and mainly for myself. Simple as that, just letting it go. One of my legal advisors told me the best revenge is just living a good life. I'm sure he got that from somewhere because I heard it somewhere else. And if you don't kill a person with kindness, you just be normal. People will kill themselves with their own knives, whatever you want to call it. With that being said, I'm so glad I had this experience. And it wasn't fun going through, a rough experience. But in the end, if you can endure, you have something to look back on and then something to move forward with. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move forward in the spirit of forgiveness, mainly for me. I don't want to hold a grudge. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be stressed out. And when evil is in your presence, you know it. We've got to operate in a forgiving spirit at all times. And you can be tough. Guess what? I'm a bad man when I want and when I need to be. But bad doesn't mean evil. It just means the ability to respond. It's called responsibility. Responsibility. I believe I'm responsible. Sure, I'm a work in progress and I've got some more work to do. But I'm grateful for where I am today. And I am officially at peace with everything. And I'm grateful for that. I look forward to the blessings that come with forgiveness. True forgiveness. Go back and look at what the speaker said about true forgiveness, applying wisdom with it so that it'll be real forgiveness and effective forgiveness. Don't be a sucker. Don't be a fool. Don't let someone think that they got over on you because you are not acting the same monkey that they're acting. With that being said, I'm going to play this last clip. Take good care of yourself. Find someone you need to say I love you to, or I'm sorry to, or I apologize to, or I am forgiving to. Let it be true. Mean it. Okay? Anthony Morrow, Christine, and Jackie, thank y'all so much. Where's my clip? Oh yeah, it's this one. Oh yeah, it's really short too. So have a good night. Take care. Bye. Or as we say in Latin America, ciao.
It is totally wrong. The practice of tolerance and practice of forgiveness is signs of weakness. Totally wrong. 100% wrong. Or 1000% wrong. Oh. Isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean...
This is forgiveness. It's the sign of strength. Isn't it?
Absolutely. Those who say forgiving is a sign of weakness haven't tried it.
SWYM. Swim. Say what you mean. As much as this information is designed to bring awareness to how we listen, hear, and process, it is also a form of therapy. The little person inside of all of us needs to be heard. As adults, even listening to ourselves is a form of healing, strengthening, and growth. It's okay to speak, talk, express yourself, and be heard, even if you're the only listener. If our testimony does anything at all for anyone else, that makes the continued effort worth the time. Get the words out. You'll feel better, and that's a promise. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
You know, sometimes it seems like all the good times are gone. But you got to keep on searching. You got to keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.
For example, take me standing right here today. I would not be here with you if I believed the things that the people say. You got to keep on searching, keep on searching, keep it on.
Cool.
Keep on